Yes, Geordies, hope everyone's well and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a scout report on Malick Thiaw. Now, trust me, to prepare this video, I spent all day yesterday watching videos on Malick Thiaw, watching Milan, watching Schalke, only for us to get linked to a different centre-back that evening. I prepared all this. I spent 24 hours preparing this, and then we got linked to another centre-back. So if you want to see a video on Scalvini, please let me know in the comments below. But today we're going to be breaking down Malick Thiaw's strengths, weaknesses, comparing him to Fabian Schär to see if he would be a good fit for Newcastle United and Eddie Howe's system. But in the past 5 weeks, I've released a video about 6 p.m. pretty much every day, bar Sundays, I think. But it will be a little bit different this week because I am stressed to bits. I am moving house. I've still got beds to move, cupboards to move, drawers to clear, and I've got to be out this house by Friday. Also, I'm transferring the broadband from this house to the next house, and we all know nothing goes smoothly. So I'm probably going to go a few days without broadband. So we're going to be back to normality next week, so just be patient for this week, please. But today, I have prepared a video for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And that video is all about Malick Thiaw. But firstly, I think it's important to identify what Eddie Howe wants in a centre-back. So he wants everybody to do the basics first. Eddie Howe reminds me of a coach that just looks at the basics. Do they do the basics well? That is, being aggressive, winning your individual battles, and defending well. Then he wants his defenders to be comfortable stepping into midfield because we're a proactive team, comfortable in one-on-one situations, anticipates play well, stops transitions. He needs to be strong aerially because that's an upgrade on Fabian Schär. He needs to be mobile enough to get around the pitch. We all know Newcastle United are threatening in transitions. We want to counter-attack quick, so bringing in an elite line breaker would just make us even more threatening. Comfortable inviting pressure to open up the game, good distribution and accuracy over longer distances, especially progressing the ball into the final third. So we're going to be looking at Malick Thiaw to see if he does tick any of those boxes. But first of all, let's look at his profile. He's currently at Milan. He stands at 6'4", which is monstrous. He's a modern day centre-back known for his height and his strong physique. He's a pressing centre-back, which highlights his athleticism. He's got a good body mass and ratio. He's got a muscular frame, which is important. To a common viewer, it may seem that Thiaw was quite slow, but he's deceptively quick. His big frame allows him to make larger strides, which allowed him to cover the ground effectively. So he does tick a few boxes there. He's strong physically, he's big, he's got height, and he covers the ground effectively. Now, there is a little bit of concerns that we're going to touch upon very shortly, but let's talk about his technical ability. Well, he's very underrated in possession. He's not your typical ball-playing centre-back, but he's very capable in possession. One of his biggest assets is his progressive ability. He's comfortable in possession, but he's also got the eagerness to support forward play, and that's essential for any top-tier defender in this modern game. Now, he also offers tactical flexibility. Now, there's only a certain role that he can play, and we're going to touch upon this when we talk about his weaknesses, but he's played in the back three at Schalke, he's played in the back four at Milan, so he does offer that tactical flexibility. He's a proactive defender and he likes to step into midfield, which suits Newcastle's man-to-man pressing. So if we break down his defensive ability, this is how it looks. He likes to get touch tight, ensuring opponents can't turn freely, which impedes the opponent's momentum in attack. In terms of one-on-one defending, he's generally good. When he's faced with opponents that want to get physical, he has the stature to cope with it. He's strong aerially. He has a strong ability to read the game and intercept passes, which shown his tactical understanding. Now, Eddie Howe uses a man-orientated pressing system. This allows for the possibility of Thiaw to fit into that system because he's shown the capabilities of stepping into midfield in challenging and one-on-one situations. So you're probably sitting there thinking, so why has nobody snapped him up from Milan considering their financial situations? Well, there is a few concerns that I do have, and one of them is, while his aggression is a strength, he could benefit from better judgment and timing when he's engaging, especially when he goes out wider areas that we're going to touch upon very shortly. He's quick to react to attackers' movements, doesn't possess quick turn and circle. This is why I don't like him in wider areas when he's getting pinned up against a tricky winger, because he doesn't possess a turn and circle needed to keep pace with these tricky wingers because they're very agile. Malick Thiaw isn't agile. The way he generates his speed is over longer distances. Once he builds up momentum, he's very quick and covers the ground quickly. So when he faces fast opponents up the pitch and they move the ball past him, that's where he struggles. So because of this, he's prone to giving away needless fouls or diving into challenges too early. While he's one-on-one defending is solid, and that's when he's not getting pinned up, there's definitely room for growth, especially in the penalty area. He needs to work on his spatial awareness and tracking runners inside the box. So refining his decision making with and without the ball could just elevate him to another level. I love his commitment when he goes to win the ball, ball, but sometimes it can lead to attackers bypassing him easily, especially because he's so committed to winning the ball. Now, there is another positive about Malick Thiaw. He's comfortable on both sides. He's played as a left centre-back and he's played as a right centre-back. He's played as a centre-back in a back three, which is where I see him fitting the most. So there is a lot of positives to Malick Thiaw's game. He's big, strong, physical. He can cover the ground well when it's over longer distances. He wins a lot of his duels. He wins a lot of aerial duels. He can play on the left side. He can play on the right side. So you're probably sitting there thinking, so why hasn't he played much for Milan this season? So the first thing to look at is his injury record. And across 4 seasons, he's missed 166 days, 32 games through injury. And that accumulates to 8 injuries. Now, I have come to a conclusion why he was better last season than he was this season, despite starting the same amount of games. He started 19 Serie A games last season. He started 19 Serie A games this season. However, he only started one of Milan's last 12 games of the season and only featured in 3 of them. So why is that? So last season, Stefano Pioli consistently played with the back four, and Thiaw was one of the main components in the back four because he can play as a left centre-back and he can play as a right centre-back, and he struck up a brilliant partnership with Gabbia. Then at the end of the season, Thiaw left his position as head coach and was replaced by Sergio Conceição, who at the beginning of the season continued to play with the back four. So Malick Thiaw was majority playing as a left centre-back partnered by Gabbia. Now, halfway through the season, Conceição decided to switch to a back three. Now, the trouble Malick Thiaw's got here, I mentioned he's not very good in those wider areas when he's shaping up against a winger. And because he's not as quick as Pavlovic or Tomori, Conceição just didn't fancy him as a right centre-back or a left centre-back in a back three. So that leaves him with the centre-back position. Now, there's 2 players that can occupy that. There's Gabbia and Thiaw. Conceição gave an opportunity to Gabbia, and to be fair to the player, he played very well. So it was difficult for Thiaw to come back into the side. So the only reason he was going to come back into the side is if Gabbia got an injury. Gabbia didn't get an injury, and Gabbia started the rest of the last 12 games. And that's why Thiaw came out of the side. Now, Milan are struggling financially, so could it be an opportunity for Newcastle United to take Thiaw from Milan? And we all know Newcastle were linked to Thiaw last season. So now we're going to have a look at a few statistics and compare them to Fabian Schär. Firstly, I want to talk about the manager's styles, because Stefano Pioli was all about possession play, getting on the ball, breaking through lines and playing out from the back. Whereas Conceição was more direct, so it was less playing through the lines and more direct. Now on the defensive side, Pioli was all about man-to-man pressing. He wanted everybody to literally go into a man-to-man press and win their individual battles. Whereas Sergio Conceição was more about marking space. So naturally, his defensive attributes were going to limit. Now Thiaw thrives in a man-to-man press more than a spatial awareness system, because his strengths are using his physicality, reading the game and getting to the ball before the opponents. His strength is not let's keep shape and defend space. Now the beauty about Newcastle United, they want to go to a man-to-man press and win the ball as early as possible. And they're clear in the statistics. Now, these are his statistics when he was playing in Germany in comparison to Italy. And the blue is his time in Italy and the red is his time in Germany. And as you can see, the difference is in possession. He's seen a lot more of the ball when he's at Italy because, like I mentioned earlier, Pioli was all about keeping possession and playing through the lines. Whereas Schalke, where he played for before he moved to Milan, it wasn't about keeping possession. It was more about box defending and defending well. So this sees statistics under Pioli under the 2023-24 season at Milan. And as you can see, he's a lot more defending than there is under Conceição, because Pioli wanted these guys to go out and engage and win the ball, whereas Conceição was more about defending space and keeping shape. So naturally, when you go to a man-to-man press and a team that wants to win the ball back as early as possible, your defensive statistics will be greater. If you're in a team that marks space rather than the man, your defensive statistics will not be as high. And as you can see, possession statistics aren't far away from each other. But again, he was a lot more progressive in Pioli's side than he is a Sergio Conceição side. So what I'm trying to say is the difference in styles is why he's had a little drop off, because Malick Thiaw thrives when he's attacking the ball with power and pace. So he has these statistics from last season. Now, one thing I noticed from the season before is he's averaging more tackles in his defensive third than he is the middle third. The season before under Pioli, he was averaging more tackles than the middle third because Pioli gave him that license to step into midfield. And I think that's where Malick Thiaw was at his best. Even though he's very capable in the back three, is a centre-back, not one of the wide players. He's very capable, but that means you've got to mark space rather than go out and engage. And what's changed from the season before to last is he's averaging more defensive tackles in his own third because he's marking space than he is a middle third, so he's not going out and engaging. Now, one thing I really do like about Malick Thiaw is the amount of aerial duels he's winning. He's a monster in the air. But where he does shine and what he will give you over Fabian Schär is his ability in possession. I mentioned earlier he's very underrated in possession. This is why. When it comes to distributing the ball, he's absolutely excellent. He's got a very accurate rate. He's averaging over 90% accuracy in his short, medium and long. And as you can see, he's averaging 4.96 progressive passes per 90. Now, he's also averaging 72.3 touches per 90, which is more than Fabian Schär. But one thing that stands out to me here is he's averaging more touches in the middle third than he is his own defensive third. So that goes to show that he's got that comfortability to move the ball into midfield, whether that be a carry or receiving higher up the pitch. But these statistics show that he would give Newcastle an extra dimension to play out from the back. So you're probably sitting there thinking, well, how does he compare to Fabian Schär? And this is how he compares Fabian Schär. Just ask yourself, what are the few things that Fabian Schär doesn't give us? He's very good at playing out from the back, but he's not elite. We need a better ball player, and judging by Malick Thiaw's statistics, he's better with the ball at his feet. He's averaging a higher pass completion, he's averaging more progressive passes, he's averaging more progressive carries, and he's averaging more touches per 90. What else do we want to upgrade from Fabian Schär? The ability to win the ball back aerially. And as you can see, he's winning a lot more aerial duels than what Fabian Schär is. So I don't think the season at Milan defines Malick Thiaw as a player. I think he just doesn't really suit the system that Sergio Conceição was brought. Now, Conceição has left Milan and Max Allegri's coming in. And I've got a funny feeling Max Allegri will go back to a back four and probably use Malick Thiaw more than Sergio Conceição did. The thing about footballers these days, when you reach this level, you've got ability. It's not about ability, it's about putting you into the right system and the right environment to allow your attributes to flourish. Now, under Sergio Conceição, it was restricting him from playing to his strengths, whereas under Pioli he was playing to his strengths. And the thing is, you don't need to sign the elite of the elite. You need to sign players that will fit exactly what your style is. And I think Malick Thiaw would have a big impact at Newcastle United, considering the way Eddie Howe likes to play. But I want to hear your thoughts. Would you welcome somebody like Malick Thiaw at Newcastle United? Let me know in the comments below. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, away the lads.